Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Tracy Liu, VP of Channel Sales. Today we're going to be going over Clearly Anywhere, which is our mobile and desktop softphone application. I'll be giving you a quick intro into Clearly Anywhere and then go over benefits, features, and supported integrations. And then we'll jump into a live demo of the mobile version of Clearly Anywhere and finish with Q&A. Just a reminder, everyone's on mute, so if you have a question, please type it into the Q&A section, and we will get those questions answered towards the end. We're also going to be recording this presentation and making it available on our YouTube channel. Okay, let's jump in. Clearly Anywhere is a mobile and desktop softphone. It puts your business extension on any device so you can work from anywhere without sacrificing control, quality, or privacy. Typically, when you're on the go, employees will just forward their calls to their cell phone. The problem with that is you lose a lot of functionality. You can't dial internal extensions, you can't transfer to internal extensions or park a call as if you're in the office, and you end up giving out your personal cell number instead of your business line. With Clearly Anywhere, you can avoid all of those issues. You can access your voicemail, dial internal extensions, transfer to another extension, just as if you were sitting at your desk. It's great for any manager or employee that needs to be reachable and communicate, but doesn't want to be tied to a desk. So Clearly Anywhere keeps you connected with the full power of your office phone, no matter where you are. Let's talk about some of the benefits of using Clearly Anywhere. Clearly Anywhere provides unified communication features on the go. So you can make and receive business calls from your mobile device using your PBX extension, which keeps your personal number private while using your business caller ID. It also fully integrates with several PBX platforms that I'll cover in just a few minutes. So it automatically pulls extension settings, voicemail, and contacts and presence from your PBX. It also provides mobility for remote and frontline staff. So it's great for employees that are always away or often away from their desk, like hotel staff, maintenance teams, sales reps, and remote workers. No matter where they are, they can maintain full call functionality and call routing. And callers calling into the PBX get the same calling experience, and your extension is able to take queue calls and have the same hold music as if you were in that office taking the call. Another huge benefit is cost savings. Clearly Anywhere mobile app reduces the need to have additional mobile plans or physical desk phones. And it uses voice over IP over data, which lowers mobile phone usage costs. And of course, finally, security and control. Clearly Anywhere offers secure SIP connectivity encryption and allows admins to retain control over mobile extensions and app permissions for remote workers through the PBX. If those remote workers were just on their cell phones, there would be no visibility into their calls and productivity. And we have a quote here from Robert Angles with Midwest Benefits Exchange saying, Clearly Anywhere has been a lifesaver for our team. We are able to connect with clients much easier and conduct secure private calls. No matter where we are, our office extension is with us. Now, let's take a look at some of the features that make Clearly Anywhere powerful. First, it functions as a softphone, a full softphone with a dial pad. So you can make and receive calls as if you're at your desk. You also get quick dial and presence features, so you can see who's available and connect instantly. It supports call recording, so no critical information is lost, and there is video calling to internal extensions, which is helpful if you need to share something visible with a coworker. And depending on the state of your phone, Clearly Anywhere works over Wi-Fi or cellular networks, so you're always connected. It also syncs with your phone contacts and your PBX contacts, and shows your call history so you can easily dial or redial. Besides voice calls, if your DID, your phone number supports and PBX supports text messaging, you'll also be able to receive SMS and MMS text messages right in the app. And you have a quick D&D toggle so you can turn D&D on and off easily. And you have the ability to schedule when you would like D&D to be on or off. And for those of you that are on Clearly Cloud, you have access to all of the call panel features like AI voicemail transcription and queue visibility right from the app. So Clearly Anywhere gives you all of those business features and tools that you have in the office, but on any of your devices. Setting up Clearly Anywhere is super easy. You can either take a picture of a QR code or simply type in your SIP username and password for your extension. We can install Clearly Anywhere on a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, and we allow users to install it on as many devices as they need. A lot of other vendors restrict the number of devices that an extension can be installed on, but we do not. Next, let's address security and 911 compliance. So starting with security, Clearly Anywhere is built to keep your communications safe. All of the voice, messaging, and traffic data is protected with end-to-end encryption. So conversations stay private. And we use TLS and SRTP protocols to ensure that calls can't be intercepted or tampered with. Every device is verified through device authentication, which prevents unauthorized access to your network. And the app applies automatic updates, so you're always running the latest security patches. When it comes to 911, Clearly Anywhere fully supports 911 calling, and those calls can be routed through the native GSM network for reliability. It's also compliant with Carey's Law and Ray-Bonds Act in the US, which means that it meets all FCC requirements for emergency calling, including accurate location information being delivered to first responders. So there are several platforms that Clearly Anywhere integrates with. Clearly Cloud is our UCaaS solution from ClearlyIP that we host, and we automatically include Clearly Anywhere with every single Clearly Cloud extension at no cost. ComExchange is our hospitality PBX. You can purchase Clearly Anywhere for ComExchange hosted or hybrid at a low monthly cost, or ComExchange on-prem with a low-cost yearly subscription. Clearly Anywhere also works with free PBX and Tango PBX with the purchase of a low-cost yearly subscription. And we've also integrated Clearly Anywhere with some other third-party platforms as well. Clearly Anywhere is not just a mobile application, it also works on your desktop. The desktop version can be installed on Windows or macOS, and it has the same features as the mobile version. Clearly Anywhere works on both Apple and Android phones, and you can download the app today in the Google Play or Apple App Store. Whether you're using Apple or Android, the apps on the app features are the same. The only difference is the menu bar is on the bottom for Apple, and it's on the top of the app for Android. All right, to give you a better feel for the user experience, we're going to jump into a live demo of the mobile app. So let me go ahead and share my phone screen with you. All right, so this is my Clearly Anywhere mobile app. The first thing I'm going to point out is on the top left, it shows that I'm on extension 5001. So this is actually the extension that I have on my demo PBX here. And if I click on it, it gives me a little bit more detail, and it has this immediate D&D option. So if I want to quickly pause calls coming to my cell phone, I can turn it on and it will turn DND on just on my cell or on the app. In my quick dial, these are the same quick dials that you'll have in your PBX. And it'll also show you when these people are on the phone or off the phone. So you'll also be able to click to dial from these contacts. So if I click right here, it'll automatically show the extension and go to my keypad to dial. But again, these are the quick dials that are pulled from your extension, from your PBX. Next, we have call history. So this will show all of the call history on the app itself. You can redial from the call history, or you can also access call recording. So we do have call recording in this app, which I'll show you in a minute. But if I hit the I button on the very right on a call, it'll actually show me if there's a recording. So on one of these calls, I had a recording, and I can see and play that recording here, but I can also click on the three dots and share it. So if I click share, it'll actually automatically go and attach that WAV file and send it as an email. So other than that, we can click to dial from here and also just see our past history. Then we have our dial pad. So this is where you just dial extensions, and also you can access your voicemail here by hitting the voicemail button on the bottom left. And in just a minute, I'll show you a live call. And then over here are your contacts. So these are actually the contacts in my PBX that I've added. I do have at the top where it says web service. This will allow me to toggle between the contacts in my phone book or the contacts in my PBX. And then I can click to dial from here. The next tab over is messages. So this is actually showing all the SMS text messages that I receive. And I can respond here to any SMS or MMS text messages. So that kind of covers those features. Now I'm going to go into the settings really quick and just show you a few more features. So I can go into settings and go into preferences. Now, when I'm in preferences, I can change my default ringtone. And I can also turn on call recording for all calls if I want to. Again, these call recordings are saved within the app and on your phone. And then you can also turn a warning beep on or off. We also can turn on call forwarding, so you could forward this to another number if you wanted to. Under controls, I have some options here. So it's playing my regular music on hold, but I have an option to change that if I want to. And then also this show voicemail button is something that I like to have on. So you can turn it off or on. For those using Clearly Cloud, we actually have visual voicemail within the app. So this is good if you don't have Clearly Cloud. Also, do not disturb. So do not disturb, we can toggle it on and off, right? But we could also schedule time for do not disturb to be on. So I can say if it's unknown or all contacts, and I can enable or disable the D&D rule during a time frame. So right now, I'm saying on Saturday and Sunday from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m., turn on my D&D because I don't want to be bothered on a weekend. And this is during business hours, right? Oh, sorry, that was during business hours. This is on a weekend. Yeah, so you can, yeah, 12. This is the weekend, Sunday and Saturday. So I can turn on other days if I want to. So if I edit a new D&D rule and I press the plus sign, so this is how it's going to allow me to select, okay, I want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I want it between, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. That's when I don't want to be bothered. So you can set a D&D rule here and add it. Okay. And that is it for settings. So now I'm just going to go over for those Clearly Cloud customers. So again, these are all available to our Com Exchange customers. But for Clearly Cloud customers, people on Clearly Cloud, there's an extra tab up here at the top where it says users. So if I click on this, it's actually going to give me a drop-down menu for every tab, almost every tab that we have in Clearly Cloud. So we can go to queues, and I can see real-time queues here. And I can actually add queues to my dashboard. I only have one queue here, so I'm looking at just this one queue. But then I also have reports. Oh, just a dashboard here. Yeah. And then I have also conferencing, so I can access an audio conference room. I can also access my Clearly Live video conference room here. I can actually launch from here right into a Clearly Live meeting, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then I can also look at my parking lot, but also I can adjust my voicemail and my voicemail settings. So, here are my voicemails currently, and I get the visual voicemail that I have through Clearly Cloud. And I also get a summary through, so there's AI transcription, and then there's an AI summary for each voicemail that I receive. Now, if I want to change my voicemails, I can go over here and click on settings on the bottom, and then greetings on the top. And then these are all my greetings. So my unavailable greeting, I can edit. And I can upload a file, I can record a new greeting, or I can use text to speech. So I really like this feature. So I can just type in my greeting, and then I can choose from hundreds of voices, and it'll build and listen to it and it'll play my greeting and allow me to save it. And then, of course, the last one is call history. I can see all the same call history that I have in my call panel. So really quick, I'm just going to make a quick phone call to show you what features you have when you make a phone call. I'm actually going to call one of my coworkers here. They're not on my PBX, so I can't dial the extension internally right now, but I'm just going to make a quick phone call here to Bob. So this is what it looks like when I'm making a call. It's actually showing my native calling. And so when I'm on a call, I can mute the call. I can also put it on speaker. And if I'm dialing internally to another extension, I can turn on video. I also have the ability to transfer, put it on hold, add a call for conferencing someone in, or do an attended transfer, or I can record a call on the fly if I don't have recording turned on all the time. So then you can turn on recording on and off from here as well. So you have all the same features that you have from your desk phone. All right, I'm going to end that call, and that pretty much wraps up the live portion of my demo. So let's go back to the presentation and jump into some questions and see if there's any Q&A. Will the person you are calling know that you are calling from the Clearly Anywhere app, or will they not be able to tell? So no, they won't be able to tell. It's just the same as if you're dialing from in the office. So it looks exactly the same to the person on the other end. And when I tried to set up the desktop version, it asked me for a domain. Is that my local domain or the one at Clearly Cloud? So for Clearly Cloud, the Clearly Anywhere desktop variant is not an option. You just use the Softphone from the call panel, where the call panel has a ton of features, right? More features, actually, than we have in Clearly Anywhere. Does it support push notifications for incoming calls and messages to save battery life? Yes, Clearly Anywhere uses push notifications to wake the app up for incoming calls and messages, which does help preserve battery life on both iOS and Android devices. With Clearly Anywhere, are you able to place calls on park and pick up calls that are parked? Yes, absolutely. You can transfer to a parking lot, and you can dial any extension in the parking lot to pick up a call. And you can even, if you're on Clearly Cloud, you can go to the parking lot view and grab the call from there. What is a full cloud panel? So Call Panel is actually a tool that we have for our Clearly Cloud users. It's something that every single user gets, and it's a set of tools that enables the extension on the PBX and the person to access all kinds of features in the PBX. Does it email you the voicemail message? That is a setting that's natively in your PBX. So yes, if your PBX is set up to email you any voice messages that you receive on your regular extension, you will also get an email of the voice message there. Can you change presence and voicemail through the phone app? Yes, so you can if you're using Clearly Cloud. I think that if you're using Free PBX and Com Exchange, you probably have to do it in the admin or the user control panel. I have one on the call panel yesterday. We noticed that one of our extensions was showing an ongoing call for a long time. So I'd like to take that offline and open a ticket and do, see why that happened. Obviously, I can't solve it right now, but absolutely, let's take a look. Where is the cloud panel? So the cloud panel is only available to Clearly Cloud users, and it's the end user panel. So you can either ask us or your reseller, an agent or partner, if you have one, what the URL is. Does there have to be at least one standard VoIP phone? Actually, you just need a VoIP extension. So you don't have to have a physical desk phone at all. You could just use Clearly Anywhere. Are there any extra costs or limitations for international dialing through the Softphone? No, actually, it's just simply a Softphone connected to your PBX. So it's going to use the same SIP service that your PBX has. So whatever your PBX uses for SIP calling internationally, that's going to be the same cost for you on Clearly Anywhere. is there a way to force the mobile app to update? I have to delete the app and re-download on iOS to get the latest updates. I'm not sure about that. Let's get back to that question. Maybe if, Bob, you could try looking that up. What are the implications of using this from overseas? Bob, do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure, it'll work fine overseas. Obviously, there's a problem with a potential problem with latency, depending on where your connection is and how good that connection is back to the Clearly Cloud server. But as far as it working fine when you're overseas, it'll work just like you're on your extension, regardless of where you are.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Yeah. And then I have, can you enable call masking, aka only show the main number on your caller ID? So yeah, that's actually a feature of your PBX. So as long as you have, your caller ID set to the main number in your PBX, then it will also show when you're making a phone call from Clearly Anywhere. Can you transfer calls to your cell? You can transfer calls to a cell phone, but not if you are currently on your cell phone using Clearly Anywhere. So let me clarify. As a cloud user, I use the cloud panel, but I do not use Clearly Anywhere. But do I use Cloud Anywhere on my iPhone? Yes, so you use Clearly Anywhere on your iPhone and you download it from the iPhone App Store. And then in your call panel, in the settings, you can go and take a picture of a QR code. There's actually a spot for Clearly Anywhere in the settings for call panel that you can click on, and it'll show you your QR code when you click there. When signing into the desktop version of Clearly Anywhere, what sign-in credentials do we need? So it's your SIP username and password. If you don't have the QR code, just the SIP username and password. Okay, if my extension is an ATA, can I still use the client on my Android? I believe so. Bob, can you confirm?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because it's just another registration for that user on your PBX.
That's good. So I had a question the other day where someone was asking me how Clearly Anywhere handles poor network conditions. So the app actually supports common codecs, including G711 and G722 for HD audio. In some configurations, it can also use Opus for better performance on low bandwidth or unstable connections. What the app does is it automatically selects that optimal codec based on your PBX settings and network conditions to maintain call quality. And then a common question I get is, if I put Clearly Anywhere on DND, will my office phone still ring? And the answer is yes, because the DND on your Clearly Anywhere is just for the app. It does not affect the DND on your office phone. Any other questions? All right, well, if we don't have any other questions, we will wrap up here. Thank you everyone for your time today. We appreciate you taking the time to join us to learn about Clearly Anywhere. Have a great day.